Hello, Nikita, am I audible to you? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Manoj, you are now audible.
Okay, yeah.
Arif
Thanks for
here.
the thanks for the confirmation, Arif. Can you please start the recording?
Yes, yes, already recording started.
Yeah. Thanks, Arif, for starting the recording. So we will basically proceed with our session. Yeah, thank you, Arif.
Right.
Okay, so guys, welcome to our Ariba session. Today, basically, we are going to have a demo. So without uh, taking much of a time, let's start now. What is Ariba? Because when you basically come from the Ariba side, or you want to learn Ariba, you need to basically ask yourself this question: that what is Ariba? Now, when you ask this particular question, that what is Ariba, you will come to know that it's a procurement solution within the SAP landscape, which is based on cloud services. Now, what is procurement solutions? Now, few of you who have worked in Ariba, you will know. Those of you guys who have worked in MM, those of you guys who have worked in SRM, those of you guys who have worked in S/4HANA sourcing and procurement within the SAP ecosystem, you will say, yes, these are the basically uh, module or solutions within SAP through which we can do procurement. Same is Ariba, but there is a huge difference in between. Why? Based on cloud services. That's the only difference. Now, when I go to a project, when we work on a project, the first and foremost thing which we ask ourselves is basically that on-premise solution means what? Client will already have a application server where they will install the application and then they will work on it. What is cloud services? Just like Gmail. Just like Gmail. So what will happen? The application server will be with the service provider, in this case SAP. Client cannot install it. So that means what? We cannot have a technical consultant sitting beside us who will see the database, who will see the coding. Why? Because it is not installed in the client application server. That's the only difference, right? All of you will say that's the only difference. Guys, are you not able to see my notepad in the screen? Let me just once again reshare my screen. Are you now able to see? Yeah, thank you. Now, as I was basically saying, excuse me, that's a major difference. Now, let me tell all of you guys that is one of the biggest myth. From a procurement solution perspective, Ariba follows. I'm not talking about technology. I'm not talking about on cloud, on premise. I'm not talking about all those things. I'm not talking about architecture. I'm talking about simple business process. The business process which we have seen in MM, SRM, and S4 HANA sourcing and procurement and in Ariba are having huge differences. Why? Because when Ariba came as a cloud solution, it came in 2010. At that point of time, SAP was basically not handling it. Ariba was a non-SAP company. When SAP acquired Ariba in September 2012, that means the product development, process development, all those things was done by Ariba, which was not a non-SAP company. Look at look at SRM, look at S4HANA sourcing and procurement. These are product of SAP Labs, which was developed in-house within SAP. So that is why their business processes are same. User interface will be different. I'm not going into technology at all. I'm not going into ABAP, UI5, all those things, Fury. I'm not going in the user interface at all. I'm just talking about purely a business process, PR, PO, GR, invoice, sourcing, contracting, with that respect. Now, this is the first thing which you should understand. So please, yes, I will definitely say that if you are having exposure in procurement or you have worked in SRM or S4HANA sourcing and procurement, that's well and good. But please don't think Ariba and these three things are same. No, they are not same. They are very, very different. This will help. Procurement knowledge will definitely help you. But you have to learn Ariba as a new thing altogether. That's the first thing. Now, solutions. Ariba is having different solutions. So what are the solution? Upstream solution, downstream solution. Now, when you say upstream solution and downstream solution, what do you mean by it? So, majorly, if you ask this question to anybody, what, excuse me, they will say over here is very, very simple. And that is what? SLP is there, sourcing is there, contracting is there. What is there in downstream? In downstream, you are having P2P process majorly from process perspective. So in short, what is this? Strategic procurement. In short, what is this? Now, let us try to understand what is strategic procurement, what is operational procurement. Now, this is where all the hell will break loose. Why? Because if you try to understand, excuse me, if you understand strategic procurement and operational procurement, both are uh, strategic procurement and operational procurement. What do you mean by these things over there? Okay, so basically, just a moment, just a moment. Yeah, strategic procurement and operational procurement. What's the difference? Now, the thing is like when you basically see it from a different perspective, what you need to understand over here is basically Very simple. And what is that? That is what? That is strategic procurement means if you are doing something based on strategy. Operational procurement means day-to-day procurement. That is the difference. That is the difference. But what's the difference over there? The difference over here is now, no, no. First and foremost thing is basically just a moment, guys. Just give me a moment. Hmm. Upstream, downstream solutions. So strategic procurement and operational procurement. So let us try to understand what is strategic procurement, what is operational procurement. So suppose forget about Ariba, forget about organization, forget about all those things. Uh, you want to buy a phone, small phone, 15,000 rupees phone. What you will do? You will think much? No. What you will do? You will just go to the shop and you will buy. But let me just give a different example. You want to buy iPhone 14, which will cost upward of 1 lakh. Now, are you going to basically buy uh, from any shop without doing any research? The answer is no. Answer is no, because that would be costly over here. It would be costly in nature. And since it would be costly in nature, what you will do? You will do some research. You will go to multiple shop. From there, you will basically buy it, right? That's the difference. That's the difference between operational procurement and strategic procurement. Operational procurement is 15,000 phone. Strategic procurement is 100,000 phone. Correct? That's the thing. So in upstream, basically what we try to do, we want to do high value procurement where you have to basically uh, develop strategies. You have to negotiate with the supplier. You have to ask different suppliers about the prices, about the quality, everything. Once you understand this thing, then you are going to finalize it. That is basically called as strategic procurement. Come down to operational procurement. 15,000. You will immediately pay the money out of your pocket and you will buy it. Is there any strategies? No, there is no strategy. You give the money, take the phone, take the bill, done. But on the other hand, look at this strategic procurement. What is the strategy? I have literally seen many people who will go, they will say, I will buy the iPhone 14. Okay, do you have the money? They will have the money, but they will say, no, I don't have the money. So what they will do? They will come up and say, I need EMI, no cost EMI. That means you don't have to pay interest. They will take the bank offers. They will take the no cost EMI, that means no interest, and with that there will be show off on the iPhone 14. Yeah. So what is it? Because people have to do this kind of thing. Why? Because it's a costly product. Same thing. If you are going to buy a car, what happens in the car? If you are going to buy a 5 lakh or 7 lakh or 6 lakh rupees car, you are going to pay for it. Take it. But if you are going to buy a 25 lakh rupees car, 30 lakh rupees car, I'm not talking about 50 lakhs or 70 lakhs because those things will be taken by whom? Taken by the very rich person. That's a different thing altogether. So that means you have to develop strategies over here. You need negotiation. Then only you can work on it. Okay. Okay. Now let us discuss the modules, individual modules about it. Now suppose you want to basically buy a particular product, iPhone. What you will do first? You will go to multiple shops. Multiple shops means what? To go to multiple shops, ask about it, ask about any offer, all those particular things you are going to ask. That means what? That means you are trying to understand that from where you should buy and where you should get the best deal. What is sourcing? Sourcing is finding the best source of supply. Finding the best source of supply. Finding the best source of supply means what? That means multiple shops are there. You are going and you're asking how much discount you can give. Can you give me the interest free EMI? Plus, can you give me some or other offers or some extra discount? So you're basically trying to find out the best price from the best shop, right? Same thing over here. Here, the big organization, they will say, okay, I want to buy laptop, 1,000 laptop for my employees. What will happen? They will basically ask the supplier from different quotations, and supplier will basically give them different quotations, and then they will say, okay, $1,000. Another supplier will say $1,200. Another supplier will say $1,400. So based upon that, what you will do as a buyer, you will choose which supplier is giving you the best product. Okay, so this is basically nothing but your sourcing. Now in this case, at the end of your sourcing process, what will happen? You will find the supplier who is providing you best price for the product. That's it. Now within sourcing, there can be different events, RFI, then RFP. RFI stands for request for information. RFP stands for request for proposal. And then you will have auction. RFI, when we will do it, suppose we don't know much about the product. So what we will do, we will ask the supplier to start giving the technical quotation. Once we know about it, then what we will do? We will do RFP, request for proposal. So here we will basically ask the supplier, boss, what's the price? What's the price? That's it. So once you end RFP, what will happen? By that time, you will know you will buy from which supplier. Suppose sometimes this can be there that you want to buy that iPhone 14 and you were thinking that you will basically get the price of what? You were expecting 10% discount, but actually you got only 4%, 3% discount. Now what you will do? You will try to basically increase the discount. How can you do it? So in that case, you will go to auction. You will call the suppliers. Then you will say, okay, we know you have given the price. Now fight on each other. Who will give the lowest price? I will select that supplier. Why? You are doing the auction to reduce the price further. That is the meaning of auction. So please remember auction, you cannot do it all the time. Just because SAP Ariba has given RFI, RFP and auction, it does not mean that you will always do the auction. Only when the prices are very high compared to your expectation, then you will do auction. Okay? Exactly. Now, once you have the base source of supply, what you will do? You will do contracting. Why contracting is necessary? Because he will say, okay, when you buy a particular product or this iPhone from the shopkeeper, you will get a bill. Why? Because if you need warranty services or repair services on your iPhone 14, they will basically ask that we want to know this phone is not stolen. We want to know that you are the owner of this particular phone. Okay? How we will know it? With the help of that bill. Exactly. So that bill is that, what you can say, proving your authority, or what you can say, uh, your not authority, I will say somewhere like your ownership. Okay. Yeah, keep this thing in your mind. Now, contract is a legal agreement between buyer and supplier. So here in Ariba also you can do the contract. Within the contract you will have two activities mainly: contract authoring and contract task completion. So in Ariba the contracts are a little bit different from that of SAP. In SAP you work with the screen fields. In Ariba you don't have the screen fields. So in Ariba you will have a documentation. With this documentation, excuse me, you will upload it. You will upload, change some data, update it, upload it back in the contract. That is called as contract authoring. So it's a different process altogether. You have to work with a Word file and Excel file, and that also not just like that of attachment. Why? Because here also uh, some of the data will automatically get pre-populated first when you create a contract. Then you have to download add some extra data into it, save it, re-upload it, publish it. That is called as contract authoring. That means working on the Word document, Excel document within the contract. Now, once that has been done, the next part is contract task completion. You will see within the contract in Ariba there will be different tasks. This task will be linked with that of a document. This Word and Excel document which you performed that activity in the contract authoring. So in contract task completion, what will happen? You will complete one by one the different tasks which are present within the contract. Once the tasks are completed, what will happen? This task, once it is completed, the contract will be sent to whom? To the supplier. Supplier would be able to see all those particular documents which has been created and uploaded, and based on that they will work. So those documents will contain the line items, the prices, the quantity, unit of measurement, along with that terms and conditions, all those particular things which are present in your contract. So remember, in Ariba the contracts are dependent on document rather than screen values in SAP. Now once you are having the contract over here, the third point is SLP. Now what does SLP means? SLP means Supply Lifecycle and Performance Management. Contract authoring means, guys, that we are working with the documents within the contract. You have to update the line items which you want to procure in the contract, right? The supplier details, the quantity, the unit of measure, that you will do in one document. In another document, you will upload the terms and condition which are present within the contract, right? And then publish it. That is basically called as contract authoring. Once that has been done, then you will do the task completion. That means you will complete one by one the different tasks which are present within the contract. Once that is done, once both these two activities done, your contract will be published. That means it will be sent to the supplier. Okay, keep this thing in your mind. Now once you are talking about SLP, what is SLP? So SLP is an interesting topic in its own might. Why? Because SLP means onboarding supplier in Ariba. Now, what do you mean by onboarding supplier in Ariba? What's the meaning of it, or how that particular thing happens over here? So first and foremost thing, yes, you have to onboard supplier. Why? Because if you don't onboard the supplier, it will not work properly. There will be issues. Okay. Now, onboarding supplier is a little bit tricky in Ariba. Why? Because in Ariba, you will have two URL. One URL for Ariba buyer, another URL for what? Another for supplier, Ariba network. So that means you are not only talking about onboarding supplier in Ariba buyer, but also in Ariba network. That is why it is consisting of three sub processes. So the first one is supplier request. In supplier request, what will happen? You will basically make sure that you're capturing the basic details of the supplier. Once you capture the basic details of the supplier, your work is done. But you cannot use the supplier. Why? Because the supplier has not registered in Ariba network. So next process, basically what you will do, you are having supplier registration. Now in this scenario, you're asking the supplier and inviting them to create their credentials in Ariba network and work with them. Okay, so that is basically called as supplier registration. Now, after that, you will do supplier qualification. Now, why you need a supplier qualification? Why you need a supplier qualification, or what do you mean by supplier qualification? So, supplier qualification means working with the supplier and then assigning them a commodity code and region. Now, suppose, for example, you as a organization is taking a decision ki whenever you will buy a laptop in India, you will buy from Lenovo. So what does it actually mean? It means that for the commodity code laptop and region India, you are qualifying Lenovo supplier. Your first preference should be Lenovo supplier. That does not mean you will not buy from HP or Dell, but your first preference should be Lenovo. That is called as supplier qualification. Yes, depending on the client's requirement, sometimes you have to use it. It's not mandatory always, but sometimes you have to use it. Okay, now there is another thing before we go into downstream. So in SAP, whenever we are having a contract, we can use this contract to create a PO out of it. Correct? Exactly. Now, when excuse me, when we want to create a contract, what we can do, we can use it to create a PO out of it. Correct? Same thing we can do it in Ariba. But please remember, you have to make sure that the sum total of all the PO which is created against the contract should not exceed the contract value. So that means what? You need some module which will make sure that those PO which are created against the contract must be compliant with each other. And what is that particular solution? It's contract compliance. What it will do? It will just make sure that all the POs created against the contract they are adhering to the total contract value. Okay, so contract compliance is why I have mentioned it as a separate part over here, because of one thing, that is what? That is based on the tracking of PO. Why? Because you have to identify, not all the POs will be created against a particular contract. So we have having C1 C2 as two contract. P1 P2 we have created against C1. P3 P4 we have created against C2. P5 P6 we are not creating against a contract. So somebody should basically make sure that boss P PO1 PO2 should be compliant against C1. PO2, PO3, PO4 should be complied against C2. PO5, PO6 does not matter. So who does it? Contract compliance does it. Plain and simple. Okay. Now let us come to downstream over here. What is there in downstream? Downstream is basically nothing but your P2P process. What is P2P? P2P process basically means procure to pay process. Procure to pay process means what? It will start with PR. In the PR, you will add line item, you will add the supplier, all those things, price and UM, payment terms. After that, it will go for PO approval, PR approval. Once it is approved, PO will get created. Now here also you will say, excuse me, all of you will say, Ki Manoj, PO approval na. PO approval is there in Ariba? No, it is not there. Why? Because if you want to create a PO in Ariba, you cannot do it directly. It has to be created against a PR. So once you create a PR, from there, take the approval, PO will get created. You cannot directly create a PO. So for PO, there is no approval. This is always the process. Now, once this PO is created, automatically in Ariba buyer, this will go to the supplier in Ariba network. Once it goes to the supplier in Ariba network, what will happen? Supplier will see the PO. Then two optional thing will happen. PO confirmation and advanced shipping notification. Now, what do you mean by PO confirmation and advanced shipping notification? So PO confirmation means what? The supplier is basically saying ki boss, I am accepting the PO either fully, either partially, or you are going to just do what? Reject it back. ASN is basically advanced shipping notification. That means you are saying to the buyer, boss, by this particular date and time, you will receive the product. These two are optional. Why? Because again, it depends on the what kind of procurement you're doing, whether it's a direct or indirect. We'll come to that a little bit later in today's session only. But PO confirmation and ASN is optional as of now. Yes, we will come back to certain scenario where it will be mandatory. Now, after that, once the product reaches or goods reaches the supply, the buyer will do the GR, good receipt. After that, what will happen? The supplier will basically create the invoice. Sometimes invoice are created along with ASN in certain scenarios before GR. Yes, it can happen also. After that, what will happen? IR, invoice reconciliation, three-way match, where the PO, GR, and invoice are basically checked. PO, GR, invoice are basically checked over here, and that is basically called as the invoice reconciliation process. After that, payment will happen. Supply will get paid. This is P2P. But somehow down the line, he will basically also say, कि Manoj, first we are having sourcing. ठीक है? After that, we are also having contracting. Correct? After that, we are also having contract compliance. After that, we are having PR. What is this process then? You said this is P2P, then what is this process? This process actually is called as S2P, source to pay process. Now, what's the difference between P2P and S2P over there? Now, majority of Ariba consultant, whenever I will ask this question, they will say P2P is only dependent on downstream, S2P is dependent on upstream plus downstream. Okay. Now, what's the meaning of it? P2P is only part of downstream, S2P is part of upstream plus downstream. That's the only thing. Or certain other things are also present. So if we consider, think of two scenarios. Uh, you want to buy a laptop for your employees. SLP is basically, guys, remember SLP is onboarding of supplier. SLP works with master data. Supplier is a master data. And here the P2P and S2P, all of this particular data which are involved in this process are transactional data. So that is why SLP is not there. So please don't think SLP will be part of your any process. Why? Because it deals with master data, not transactional data. Yeah. Now, suppose you want to buy 10,000 laptop for all of your employees. What you will do? 10,000 laptop is not a small amount. It's quite a big amount. What you will do? You will do a sourcing for that. Once you have found out, okay, you will buy this 10,000 laptop from this supplier, you will do what? You will do a contract. Once the contract is published, what you will do? Then you will basically send a PR. create a PR, which in turn will create a PO against what? Against the contract compliance. It will go to the supplier, then supplier will start giving you the product. That's an example of S2P. Now suppose your higher management is coming and they are saying, ki, boss, we are superior. Superior to whom? Superior to all other employees. I don't care what the other employees use. I will use MacBook. I don't care whether they get paid salaried or not, does not matter. I need a MacBook. So the procurement team, what they will do? Will say, okay. So CEO, vice president, they are basically asking, so you have to give, so you have to do it. But for that, do you think you will do the sourcing? You do the contracting? Why? 20-25 people will be there hardly, or maybe 30. For 30 MacBook Pro, you will not do a sourcing or contracting. What you will do? You will directly go to downstream, create a purchase requisition against the MacBook Pro, and then you will ask the CEO or the vice president, boss, you only asked, right? You approve it. That guy will approve it. PO will get created, it will go to the supplier. Supplier will basically deliver those 30 or 40 MacBook Pro. Then what will happen? You will give it to the higher management and the supplier will get paid. That's an example of P2P. Now, what are the pros and cons that, hey, why these guys will use MacBook Pro? What will happen to the other employees? That's a issue with the buying organization. That's the issue with the buying organization. But this is an example of P2P and S2P. So anything which you are doing out of the way, that is basically called as procure to pay. Anything which you are doing on a S2P level is basically in a planned way where the quantity is huge. You just cannot go and start ordering. That's the difference between P2P and S2P. Now, funny thing, suppose, think of it as another scenario. Contract for 10,000 laptop, against it you are creating a PR for 1,000 quantity. Now your high management is saying, boss, I cannot wait. I cannot wait like a normal employee. You have to give it right now. I don't care about all other employees. So now what will happen? Now suppose you are creating a PR against that contract for 1,000 laptop. Why? Because you cannot buy another 9,000 laptop. Why? Because MacBook Pro are quite costly. Suppose normal laptop you are buying for $900, $800. MacBook Pro will come around 3,500, 4,000 USD. And if you have all the bells and whistles, it can go more than it almost like 6,000 USD each. Now the high management say, I don't care. Give me those MacBook Pro immediately. So what you will do? You cannot buy 10,000 laptop. So against this contract, sorry, you're ordering 1,000 cheap laptops. Okay, but since your high management is basically saying, I am not going to wait, it does not matter whether all the other employees get their laptop or not, or whether they get their salary paid or not. What we are going to do? I need my own MacBook Pro. So you will order those are not cheap, very much expensive. Within one PR, within one PR, what will happen? Now suppose to add twist to this drama. Same supplier. With the same supplier, what you have done, you have signed a contract for Lenovo laptop, not Lenovo, Realme, which is very less costly. And this supplier also give you the expensive MacBook. Now in the PR from the contract, which is having option to buy 10,000 laptop, you are including 1,000 cheap laptop in this PR from ABC supplier. Line item 2, 40 expensive MacBook, again from supplier ABC. It goes for approval. Once it is approved, what will happen? How many PO will get created? Now this is where what happens, majority of the Ariba consultants start looking at their SAP They will say ki, acha Manoj, let's look at the material group. Material group is laptop. Same, one PO. Wrong. Why? Why? Because Ariba needs to track कि boss 10,000 laptops are there in your contract. In PO1 we are using 1,000, 9,000 is left. Within that we cannot add 40 expensive MacBook. Why? Because within the contract we are having 10,000 cheap laptop, but there is no expensive laptop over there. So that is why Ariba have to forcefully, even though the supplier is same, even though the material group or commodity code in Ariba is same, what it will do, it will create two PO. PO1 for contract 1, PO2, this is non-contract from the same PR. That is why I said to all of you guys at the beginning of the session, Ariba is not like your SRM, MM, or S4HANA sourcing and procurement. If you want to learn Ariba, forget about all those three things. Yes, it will definitely help because you understand the basic concept, but those concepts you have to understand it very, very properly in Ariba. That is why you will see in today's uh, scenario, there are a lot of Ariba consultants who will implement Ariba with respect to SAP MM, SRM, or S4HANA. In that way, what will happen? The end result is failure because of this thing. So keep this thing in your mind. Okay, now I hope all of you guys understood a little bit. In S2P and P2P process, these two are different altogether. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to take a small break, the break for 10 minutes. After the break, once we come back, we will discuss about the integration over here. Okay, so let us take a break over here, guys, and after the break we will continue with our session. Thank you, guys. Let's take a break.
Uh, Hello, Manoj. Hello,
Hello.
Manoj. Am I audible to you?
Yep. Yes, yes, yes. We have taken 5 minutes of break. Okay, we'll start in
Okay.
few minutes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, Manoj.
Ha. Hello guys, am I audible to you?
Yes, yes. Hi, Manoj. You are audible. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's proceed ahead with our session right now, guys. Okay, so first and foremost thing is this was the process which we have basically talked about over here. Let's talk about integration. Now, what is integration or how the integration works? Integration means basically movement of data between two systems. In this case, Ariba and SAP over there. Uh, so right now we use CIG, Cloud Integration Gateway, for moving this data. That's the first thing. So we are going to understand about CIG. Apart from CIG, it's about the scenario. What is the scenario? Just like, for example, we have understood over here P2P and S2P. Okay, so both P2P and S2P are basically two scenarios. So based upon that, integration scenario will also be captured over here. Correct? How we will basically discuss the scenario, or where we are going to discuss the scenario, that is the first thing. Now, in which scenario you will use S2P, which scenario you will use P2P, how the integration scenario looks like over there. For example, IR, invoice reconciliation. What happens in IR? What does IR means? IR means invoice reconciliation. What happens in invoice reconciliation? Three-way match. ठीक है? Three-way match. POGR invoice. Can you do it in Ariba? Yes. Can you do it in S4? Yes. Then, as a functional consultant or as a integration consultant, where you will do this stuff. That particular question, when you are able to answer it over here, that is, you know, that is what we call as integration scenario building. Now, so the answer over here is very, very simple. And what is that answer? That answer is, since we can do this thing in S4 as well as in Ariba, what would be the negative things or positive things? So first and foremost thing is, in SAP, I'm not talking about Ariba. I'm talking about a very simple thing. And what is that simple thing? That is the cost benefit analysis. So uh, when we started our career in SAP, if any customer used to come to us and ask that anything is possible, we used to say yes, anything is possible in SAP, but but cost benefit analysis, whether it is economically feasible, time wise feasible, effort wise feasible or not. Now suppose when you basically do this IR process, suppose you are going to you have taken decision that you will do it in Ariba. Before doing the IR in Ariba, the P2P process was not running with the client. Yes, it was running. It was running. So if it is running over there, then what's the issue? It is running in SAP. Very good. Now in SAP, we know majority of the client will customize it will enhance it in the range of 50%. Some will do it till 80%, till 90% also. ECC I'm talking about. Same with S4HANA. Why? Why is that? Because it is an on-premise solution. It is based on the client's application server. They will catch hold of a wrapper for writing the logic. If they want to change the user interface with Fiori apps, they will get a UI5 developer. That's it, done. Change it as much as you like. But here comes the on-premise solution. Ariba is not installed in client's place. So where it is? So it is with SAP. So since it is with SAP, since it is with SAP, what will happen? They cannot do it. Okay, so Manoj, that means in Ariba we cannot do any source code changes. Yes, you can do it. You can do it. But for that you have to create an enhancement request. Who can do it? Only SAP Ariba engineering department employees can do those source code changes. And 5 enhancement request is free per client. After that, they have to pay money for it. Each of this enhancement request can go from $4,000 till $10,000, $20,000. Single enhancement request can be like this cost. So again, this will become too much costly. And since it will become too much costly, what will happen? Every year, IR logic will change depending on the finance department requirement. So every year, suppose if you need 15 enhancement request, how much? 15 into 5,000, 80,000, almost $80,000 every year you have to spend. Immediately the client will say, I will not spend $80,000 every year for changing my logic in IR in SAP. Instead of that, what I will do? I will keep one ABAPer. I will change the logic of enhance, invoice reconciliation in SAP n number of times in a year. That is why I will do IR in SAP. Plus, IR is working fine in SAP. But now some of you will basically say to me, then what about the PO? Okay, invoice reconciliation, you will always do it in SAP Manoj because of the cost benefit analysis. What about the PO? Now, PO. How is PO sent from S4 to Ariba? Some of you will say through email attachment. Some of you will say through print. That means again manually through EDI. Now, even if you send through EDI, is it automated process? No, no. But on the Ariba, what happens? Here, whenever you're talking about PO, what will happen? Once you order the PO, This PO will go to the supplier account in Ariba network. Supplier will work against it and do a PO confirmation, ASN against the PO. Against the PO, they can also raise an invoice by flipping it. Much more easier. Hands down, all the PO should be created in Ariba, not in S4 or not in ECC. So in this way, you have to basically think from an integration consultant perspective. Okay? This is the integration scenario. Now, these two things we will also learn. Now, some of you basically also thought that, okay, we were talking about indirect procurement. What about direct procurement? So for direct procurement, there is a thing called as Ariba Commerce Automation. So in that scenario, what will happen? This full process will come. Actually, these two things here, it will not come. Why? Because this is majorly indirect process. This P2P and S2P is basically majorly indirect process. But this one is actually a what? Direct process. Now, why ASN is important? Because here, if you ask me, key, suppose, sorry, not pure confirmation, GR. How the GR is happening over here and here in this P2P and S2P? This GR is happening against the PO. On the other hand, here, if I ask all of you guys this question, how the GR is happening? Is it happening against the PO? The answer is no. Why not? Because when the supplier will basically create a ASN, right? Now just give me a moment, guys. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So how this GR is created? Now here you have to all remember one thing. And what's that? Once the supplier sends the ASN, this ASN will ultimately come into SAP and it will create what? It will create an inbound delivery. Against this inbound delivery, the GR will be created. That's one of the difference. Here, the GR is created against PO. Here, the GR is created against PO. No, it is created against the inbound delivery, which is generated from ASN. One of the major differences in this process and these two process. Okay, so please keep this thing in your mind. Very, very important stuff, that all of these small things, we need to understand. Then only we should go forward. Okay, exactly. So this is what we wanted to show to all of you guys in today's demo session, nothing else. Okay, now if you're having any queries or question, you can raise your hand You will see a small hand icon in the UI. Just click on it once. We are going to unmute you and we are going to take your files. No, no, no. Don't click on just in the React part over there. There you can see just when you click on React, at the end you will see raise your hand. That you have to click. Yeah. Yeah, Kavita, I have basically sent you a mute request. Yeah, you can basically go ahead and ask.
Does Ariba include coding as well?
No, no, Kavita. As I said, like Ariba is basically a on-cloud solution. So on-cloud solution means the code, source code, the data dictionary. That means the database fields and all those things we will not see as Ariba functional consultant. So those things will be with the Ariba department. Ariba employees who are working in engineering department of Ariba, they can only view it. They can only change it over there. So they do have the access. We don't have the access over here. So if we need any source code changes, we have to create a enhancement request. The clients need to pay money for that. Once that happens, then um, those engineering team working with the Ariba department, they will change the source code and then things happen. So from a implementation partner or from a support partner, please remember there's only one role which is available from Ariba side, that is Ariba functional consultant. There is nothing called as Ariba technical consultant. Yeah. Any other queries, Kavita? You can go ahead and ask me.
Nothing more.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Kavita. Yeah. Harshvardhan, can you unmute yourself and ask your query?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Manoj, for the wonderful demo session. So I have some queries that I'm expecting the response from you. So firstly,
Yeah.
so the Ariba integration with the CIG and CIG portal configuration. So will those topics be covered? So actually, I was dropped off from the call and missed some content during the start of our integration. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, CIG integration, yes, it will be covered. And basically, you're talking about the mapping, and you're also talking about certain things like uh, ERP add-on configuration as well. So we don't have the ERP, but what we have done is like from our project, we have taken each and every screenshot from the S4 side, right? What are the SPRO settings which we need to make sure that we do it so that CIG works
Okay.
properly. So that we will basically use that guidebook over there from the project which I have created, and we'll show it to all of you guys over here.
Okay. And
But
also,
first,
whatever the settings
bef-
that we make in Ariba. Okay.
yeah, definitely. Ariba, we will see it in our sessions because we do have the Ariba. But as I said, these are all secondary. The major thing is integration scenario building. So please go through the
Okay.
session recordings. You will understand what I am talking about over there because this is the most important part in our integration. Once you know the integration scenario, it's just like building a home, right? What is the most important thing over here? It's about the base. Once you have the correct base, you can do you can construct a huge building till 10 floor, 20 floor, 30 floor, it does not matter. But if your base is
Right.
not strong,
Yeah.
the building will get collapsed. So that is why integration scenario building is the first thing which we will look. Then we will go ahead with the CIG configuration, and we can basically we will understand the configuration, how to do it, where to do it, and all those things.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. And how about the catalog, the item creation and also the guided
Yeah,
buying
those are y-
sessions?
no, no. Guided buying actually is not included over here because this is like a normal Ariba sessions. We are not involving advanced topic over here. We are basically going to see the template configuration. We are going to see the approval workflow configuration. We are going to see the catalogs loading with the help of SIF file, catalog subscription creation, catalogs configuration, all those things. Guided buying is
Okay.
not there.
Okay. So at least can we get the recordings of the sessions that you
Ha ha
have
ha ha ha
conducted
ha.
for
Ha. Yeah, yeah.
at least if we
That we
have
can
that,
provide.
then it will be
Yeah, yeah.
helpful
That recording
because
we will, yeah. That recording we will give it over here for guided buying. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. And also, the configurations that we make here are for the test site, and when we are working in with customer, it has to be transferred to the production realm. So, will those things be covered as well? The data or
Now
the
this
build,
thing,
what we do?
this is a good
Okay,
question, Harshvardhan. So,
okay,
if you would have asked me this question in 2016, I would have said
hmm,
you have to basically some of the things can be imported. Just like for example, template. We will import those
okay, okay,
configuration uh, from
okay,
the test system, and then we will export in production. But right now,
okay,
from
okay.
2020 onwards, what is happening is like
Uh-huh.
whenever there is a project in Ariba
Okay.
is happening, whether it's implementation or support, what Ariba
Hmm.
is doing is like Ariba is including this thing within the contract. That means transport of configuration from the test to the production within the Ariba domain. That means like Ariba shared services will take care of that thing. Only thing what we have to do is like all the configuration which we have done, we have to tell them that okay, these are the things from test system which you should basically move it to production
Okay,
just by
but
creating
even
a
with
service request.
okay, but even with Ariba, they have some limited set of restrictions, right? As per deployment descriptions, one template or something like that. But as
No, no, no,
consultants,
no,
we
no,
should
no,
be
no,
knowing.
no.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. Again, please remember what Ariba is saying over here is key they will develop one template and give it to us, right?
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
if we
Okay.
need to create 20 templates,
Okay.
that we will create. But if those
Okay.
20 templates needs to be moved from test to production, what we have to do, service, right now there is no service request, it is case. It has got,
Okay. Okay.
recently changed to
Oh.
case, I think 3 months ago. Previously, it was service
Okay. Okay.
request.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
yes, you
Yeah.
just
Previously, it was
need to
service
go to,
request. Yeah.
exactly, you need to go to the connect.ariba.com, create a case,
Hmm.
and there you have to say these are the templates name, 20 custom template name,
Okay.
move it from
Okay.
test to
Okay.
production, and they will do it.
Okay. So same with upstream and also downstream. So both the
Exactly,
platforms, the same process. Got it.
exactly.
Got it. Oh, okay. Okay. And also, Manoj, so one more thing. The training that you would be providing is for implementation project, right?
Actually, for both.
After, yeah.
Actually, for both implementation
Okay.
as well as
Okay.
support, but
Okay.
it will cover the complexities of implementation as well as for the support. I will say support is a
Mm.
little bit less complex than implementation, but yes, we will
Yeah.
cover
Yeah. Yeah.
also the support part as well.
So we can comfortably take up the implementation project for upstream and downstream after this training.
Yeah, yeah, that's the goal of this training.
Nice. Nice. Great. And regarding the certification part, so will there be any
Yeah.
assistance from your end, like providing the P2P certification dumps, all those things, Manoj?
Yeah, so yes, we will basically provide with G Drive. I think in this
Yeah.
case, there will be BREs, right? Business Relationship Executives. They will basically
Oh,
once uh, uh, you know the session starts, they will basically give the G Drive access. Within the G Drive access,
oh,
what will be there? You will have the recordings, and you will also have the certificate documents also over there. Along with
okay,
that,
okay,
you will also have the dumps for the certificate so that you can refer to over there. But I will suggest do all those things once you have completed the recordings, not recording, once
sure,
you have
sure.
basically gone through the sessions.
Okay, okay, nice, nice. Okay, and this recording access will be a lifetime, right? So even after 1 year or 6 months or maybe 2 years, we can access the recordings.
Exactly, it's for the lifetime.
Nice. And yeah, post the training, so will there be any like after the training is completed, if we get stuck after the training is completed, is there a way can we reach out to you for the doubt clarifications, all those things? Uh,
Yeah, we will share you with the Gmail ID, which you can basically send your query to over there. I will reply back to you, all of you.
Okay, great, great. So thank you, Manoj. And also, Manoj, the template configuration, so SLP sourcing contracts, all the three modules are covered, right? So we will get the server access for practicing and all those things. Sourcing
Exactly, all of those
contract.
things. Yeah, service. Yeah, server, not server. Actually, you can say Ariba test system. Yes, it will be
Okay, okay,
provided for two
okay,
months. For
okay.
your, for all of your per user over there. And yes, you can do the configuration on all those particular stuffs as whatever I am doing, apart from user manager access.
Oh, okay, okay. So great. So thank you, Manoj. It was a wonderful session. So these were the questions I had. So thank you very much, Manoj.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
welcome,
Yeah,
Harsh.
thank
Thank
you,
you,
Harsh.
guys. Yeah.
Manoj, let me share my screen and show it to the participants, like what are the things, so that they'll have a quick understanding of the things. Okay, Manoj, shall I
Yeah,
do that?
yeah. Please do it.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yeah, Raj, I'm able to say it.
Yeah. So guys, you see, as Manoj was saying here, like we'll be having first we'll start with the certification. So if you're talking about the certification, SAP Ariba certifications, so we have cloud certifications that there are totally 6 or 7 certifications what we do have here for Ariba. I think they have reduced it to only 5 certifications. Yeah. So these are the certifications what we are having here, like ARCIG, this all this 5 certifications basically we are having here. So these major certifications here are Ariba Procurement and Ariba Sourcing. So this is Ariba Sourcing and Ariba Procurement is the major certifications in this one. Most of the participants are going here. So this is the things. So no one is going for all 5 certifications, but majorly 2 certifications everyone is going for. Okay, and we in our course contents we are covering almost all the things except SSC. Okay, supply chain collaboration is a separate topic. Also it has a different server credential, server access configurations will be having, so we don't have this server access credentials for this supply chain collaboration. Apart from that one, everything is going to be covered in this one. Okay, so coming to here, so we do have the complete recordings of every batch in a different folder here. Okay, we do have a G drive. So with this G drive, we'll be covering all this. We'll be sending everyone with this particular folder to everyone. Okay, so basically, let me open any folder randomly. Okay, so here these are the folders which you'll be getting. There are 6 folders you'll be getting. First is recordings, Ariba access, of course, like we discussed, and notepads, like Manoj is showing in the notepads, right? So all the notepads, descriptions, everything, we are going to put it in a very proper way here. And the documentation, certification material, and even learning of videos also will be having it. So if you're talking about recordings, so all the recordings right from the demo session, okay, right from the demo session till all the sessions whichever they're here, we are going to put it and give to everyone, like it's going to be assigned to everyone over here. Okay, so like that, we do have access, Ariba access for 2 months, and we do have different notepads. So set of notepads where you can see, like whichever Manoj is showing it here. So all the notepads will be having, like, let's say for example, if you want to see like integration, like sorry, P2P process, all the P2 process whatever is there, so everything is mentioned over here. Okay, so apart from this one, so we do have different documents. Okay, there are a lot of documents. Okay, and like integration documents, upstream, downstream, and integration documents, these are properly segregated. And apart from that, there is some project related documents, enablement workbook, and all those also is going to be shared with you. Just now Manoj was talking like for integration specifically. Okay, so Manoj has prepared this particular CIG configuration document, which is you can't find this one anywhere in the market. So this is self-prepared document where we have taken all the screenshots, step-by-step configurations, what need to be done, how it's going to be, and even the configuration towards like ECC site. Okay, what are the configurations we are going to do it ECC site, what are the components we need to enable over there. So everything is being step by step mentioned over here. Okay, with proper screenshots. So this is going to be a complete integration guide for you. So this is also going to be shared, and in the training also we are going to take a reference of this one, and we are going to do this. Okay, so apart from this one, we are having a lot of other materials. Okay, especially like you are asking about certification terms and some documents which are very important also. So those things also mentioned over here. I mean, like you can make use of these things, and there are few videos which is direct, which are directly from SAP Learning Hub. Okay, so these are the material which is going to be shared with you, and the access is going to be for as long as you are going to be there. Okay, so this is something like restricted access. So far we have completed so many batches. Okay, you can see every batch will be having around 20 to 10 to 15 participants. I'm talking about minimum number of participants I'm talking about. Okay, so these are the so all every batch whichever you are talking about, we do have all this one. Okay, so all the documents we have the in the same fashion here. Okay, and it's going to be shared by everyone. Okay, so this is how the things are, guys. So and I'm going to, yeah, this is what is there from my end. So over to you, Manoj, and if anyone of you are having any queries, please raise your hands. We are going to answer their queries. I think Anjali Rao is asking something. So Manoj, would you please unmute, or shall I unmute her? Yeah, I'll unmute her. Otherwise,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll unmute. So Anjali, would you please come up with your query? I have unmuted you. You need to unmute from your end.
Anjali, I think you need to basically hit the unmute button over there. You can see as a mic. You just click on it. Then we would be able to hear you.
Otherwise, I'm sending you an unmute request. So just click on yes, you'll be unmuted. I've sent you an unmute request over there. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, Anjali, go ahead with your question.
Anjali, I think we are not able to hear you.
Okay, I think like Anjali is having some issue in her mic. So Anjali, if you are having any queries, specific queries need to ask, you even can type in the chat window as well. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So Mohan, would you please unmute yourself and go ahead with the question, what you want to ask?
Hi Manoj. Actually,
Hey, hello, Mohan.
my question in our training we will cover the all integration CIG integration as well.
Yeah, as I said, we are going to talk about the integration scenarios over there. Yes, we will basically cover all the integration scenario apart from SCC one.
Okay, because I'm already working on SAP Ariba downstream as a SAP consultant, so I'm interested to integration with the I don't know about too much about the CIG integration, so that's why I asked that question.
Yeah, sure, sure, definitely. We understand, and that is why I said, like, yes, we are going to cover all the integrations over there. So integration means basically working with different interfaces over there. And yes, we are going to talk about all the interfaces with regards to all the integration scenarios.
So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mohan.
Thank you. So I think Salma is there, Salma Pathan. So would you please unmute yourself? Salma, you need to unmute yourself and ask the question if you have any.
Yeah. Hi, Manoj.
Hey, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Manoj, I have like few questions. Currently, I'm working with Ariba itself. I'm working in Ariba SLP, completely SLP. Like you can say, end user work I'm doing currently, like creation of the vendor and this registration qualification. So
Yeah.
I'm working in this. I just wanted to know like what will be the implementation consultant role, and will that be covered in these sessions?
Yes, the implementation role is same. In as we are a functional consultant in any SAP module, same thing will be there in Ariba. Like we have to prepare the, we have to conduct a requirement workshop. We have to basically prepare the as-is, to be and gap document over there. Then basically we have to start building the solution, and then do the configuration. do the unit testing integration, perform the UAT with the client, and then work on the data cutover activities and work with the go live over there. Now, excuse me. Documentation is simple, as is to be gap documentation for that particular thing. You can find a lot of information in the internet, but the thing which you will basically not learn elsewhere is from the requirement gathering. Once you capture the requirement and then basically preparing a solution out of it, how you're going to go ahead, how you're going to do this stuff. So that particular thing is our goal. And remember this particular thing, that whenever you are having a certain kind of issues, certain kind of requirement from the client, and how will you form a solution, this is not only used in implementation but also in support. So that will be our main focus in the sessions, because document preparation, anybody can learn that particular thing. How to conduct a UAT with the end users, that also can be done very simply. But forming a solution, just for example, we have talked about this S2P and P2P. Now, majority of the Ariba consultant think they are two different process which will not intersect with each other. Now, that particular myth only we have broken with one single PR concept over there. So they are intersecting over there. How you're going to differentiate it, how you're going to build your integration scenario. So for P2P, there will be one integration scenario. For S2P, there will be another integration scenario. At the PR level, you are not able to segregate, but you're having two different PO. How will you understand the PO1 is belonging from S2P? How will you understand PO2 is belonging from P2P over there? So that segregation, and then designing the flow, and then designing the integration scenario, that is our goal. This is what we call a solutioning, one of the most complex thing in a project, and that particular thing you will never get knowledge elsewhere. So that is the focus of our training sessions.
Yeah, got it, Mohit. So, when we talk about SLP, what
Yeah.
exactly implementation consultant do in SLP?
Okay.
Because
So
I know what is
SLP.
SLP, like
Yeah.
qualification, form
Yeah.
letter, then execution.
So if I give you the plain straight answer, that is working on the templates. That's a very simple answer.
Okay,
That's a very generic answer
correct.
that anybody, any trainer can give that. But we are not that, right? We are having much more exposure. So in a SLP, how are you going to say there will be two phases? The first phase is basically when you are moving your ECC slash S4 supplier to Ariba. This is called as the initial load. That is your first point of view. The second point of view in SLP is basically what? That is the delta load. After go live, you're creating a new supplier, you're updating a new supplier. How you're going to basically design the process? Now, we know SLP is bidirectional. Bidirectional means what? That means you can create the supplier in S4, move it into Ariba, replicate into Ariba, or else you can create the supplier in Ariba. From there, you can move it to S4. Correct? Now, the first question
Okay.
which you should ask yourself if you want to become a SLP consultant is, for what purpose we are onboarding the supplier in Ariba? The answer is very simple: procurement. But when we are onboarding a supplier in S4 or in ECC, is it just for procurement purposes? No, right? There are other things which also comes into the picture. Why? Apart from MK01, you are having XK01. You are also having some planning and production related activity also within the supplier master or vendor master, right? In S4.
Okay.
Now, how are you going to basically make sure? The easiest answer which everybody can say is, we will go to the template, we will go to the questions, and we will basically put all those fields which are available in S4 in the template. And what will happen? Then we will go to the CIG, add those custom fields, do the mapping. What will happen? Small custom fields, data value get changed. You have to change all the template. in production after the go live. Small data values, logic get changed. You have to go to the CIG, you have to do a custom mapping once again. So that means what you are doing, basically the solution which we are giving over here is wrong. Why? Because it involves a lot of maintenance. Now, SLP is simple. Why? Because they are global template. You will have only one template for request, one for registration, one for qualification. You cannot have multiple templates. Now, come back to sourcing, come back to contracting. There you will have multiple templates. How will you basically resolve this kind of issue? So this kind of things you will deal as a Ariba functional consultant. And this is where you have to form your solution. And how will you form the solution? How will you design the template? That is the major thing. See, anybody can open up a Ariba configuration guidebook, learn what are the options in the template, but applying the options in the template, that is where your Ariba functional skills come into the picture. And that is what we are learning. So I think now, I think not only you, but everybody has got a understanding as a functional consultant what we have to do. And remember, this is not only true for SLP, but for every module of Ariba. So
Yeah,
I hope
got it,
I have
Manoj.
answered your question.
Yes, got it, Manoj. I have one more question. So
Yeah,
in
yeah.
your I have seen multiple JDs, company JDs. So there I have seen like tile creation is there. So that will that be covered in here, or what exactly is
No, no, no.
tile
Tile creation is part of guided buying. So yes, we are going to give you a recording where we will show you how to create policies, how to create tiles and all those things, right? So that recording is there. But remember, please remember one thing. See, if you go to organizations list, they will say you have to work 24 hours a day and we will pay you half the salary. Because whenever a company is hiring you, they, you know, frankly speaking, they are not looking after your interest. They are only considering their interest. When you basically see a basically a vice president or a CEO, that guy will talk very nicely with you, but that guy is not thinking about your interest. That guy is thinking about his own interest. Ki boss, my targets are there. At the end of the financial year, if I don't meet my target, what will happen? My salary will get deducted, because they will have variable salary. 70% of the salary is variable salary. So what they will say, by hook or by crook, you have to do the work. Okay, otherwise if they're not able to do make you do it, whether it's a business or whether it's your multinational company, small business, same thing, same concept over there. So the guy at the top, he is not basically looking after your interest at all. So what they will say is like, boss, you should be able to do everything. But in reality, when you will go for the interview, there you will understand that the interviewer who is taking your interview, they are basically just asking for what? Just asking for some basic things. Why? Because they will need a guy who has working knowledge, at least working knowledge of Ariba, how to form a solution, where to form a solution. It's not like everybody needs to understand how and everything work in Ariba. That is not possible. But in the JD side, they will basically write whatever they want. So you have to be very, very clear that you have to choose certain side. Like, okay, I know about SLP, I know about sourcing, I know about contracting, I know about contract compliance, I know about P2P, I know about S2P. Boss, this is more than enough. After that, also you want me to learn, more complex thing over there? Yes, later on we will learn, but this is the starting point. Let's first complete the starting point, then we will go to the advanced point. Why? Because you can't justify going into advanced Ariba before having very good exposure in normal Ariba. So that is how you have to tackle it.
So Manoj, is this the tiles creation and all is the role of consultant, implementation consultant, or it's a support?
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah,
exactly?
yeah. They are actually not only implementation consultant, I will say the lead consultant. Ariba, there will be different consultant, like junior consultant, senior consultant. Then at the top there is a lead consultant. Lead consultant work on Ariba guided buying. They create the tiles, they create the policies, they create the custom forms and all those things. Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
But we will basically provide you that
Yes.
particular
Got it.
recordings over
One
there
last question.
for guided buying.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
One last question, Manoj.
yeah.
I have heard for certification there is a more over theoretical part other than practical. So that theory will be covered, right? Whatever notes you are be providing. So that would be for certification purpose, right?
Yeah, see, this particular training is also going to help you for the certification, but apart from this, you have to do a little bit of theoretical training as well. Means like theoretical thing. Why? Because certification is some part is practical, but a major chunk of the certification is theoretical in nature. So that is where you have to start reading those uh, certificate guidebooks, which will be provided in the G Drive access, right? So that particular thing you have to do, but remember only after completing the session. Then only it will help. Otherwise, you won't be able to understand what SAP has written in those particular documents.
Right. Got it. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Putan. So actually, one more thing I want to highlight here is like certification is not really mandatory. A lot of people are having a myth like if you have done the certification, definitely you are going to be in a different level. There is no such thing as such. Just want to tell because nowadays, like honestly, I'm saying to you, SAP certification standards have draw down to very badly. Yeah, only the if you're working with an US client or some other clients, your company is sponsoring you to do the certification, then it's little worth it. The reason being is they are going, the certifications are merely for the billing purpose only, according to me. Yeah, what I have seen in the market right now. So if you are not having the certification means also is there is no difference if you're changing your job or changing any company, so they're not, it's not mandatory to have the certification as such. Yeah, thank you for that. But we have a process of doing this. Yeah. I think Manoj Jagtap is there. Manoj Jagtap,
Yeah, just a
unmute
moment,
you.
just a moment. Before that, I think we are having some query over here. Let me, give them the
Yes,
answer
yes,
here
yes,
first.
Manoj.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So Anjali, no, we are not covering Ariba SCC. Why? Because again, as I said, supply chain collaboration is a very unstable product of SAP because it is basically trying to give you all some of the inventory management kind of facilities in Ariba. So it's still unstable. That's the first thing. Second thing, it is advanced, more advanced than this particular thing. So that is why in our normal sessions, we don't cover the guided buying and this uh, SCC because it's quite advanced and unstable. Yeah. So you have to be having very good knowledge in Ariba, at least 4 years plus. Then only you should go into this advanced thing. So that is why we don't cover in our normal sessions this thing. And do we cover the integration part from ECC side? Yes, that is what I said. ECC or S4 HANA, they are almost the same, right? So that is where I said ERP add-on configuration for CIG. We are going to understand with the help of that guidebook, right? So that is what I was saying, SPRO configuration. Yes, that will also be covered in our session. But remember, from the guidebook. Why? Because we don't have the S4 system over here. Yeah. Next question. Okay, Sunila. Just a moment. Excuse me. Yeah, Sunila, can you please go ahead and unmute yourself?
Yes, sir. Hi, sir. This is
Yeah,
Sunila from Hyderabad.
yeah, Sunila.
Sir,
Yeah,
presently I'm working as a business development executive,
yeah.
e-governance department, sir. We are doing all,
Okay,
state and central. We are bidding the all tenders, sir.
okay,
So, sir, is it useful for me?
okay. Sunila, I understood. I understood. So you are having some basic knowledge on procurement, right? That
Yes,
means
sir.
what is
Yes,
a
sir.
PR, what is a PO, what is sourcing, you know about it, but you want to
Yes.
basically move into SAP Ariba. See, frankly speaking, I will say, uh, please don't come to Ariba first. I'm not trying to demotivate you. I'm trying to point you towards the correct direction. So first I will suggest come to SAP, work in SAP side, because is basically having uh, less complexity, but from procurement process you will get a good exposure. Now just work in SAP for 1 year, 1.5 year, or maybe 2 years. So what will happen is like you will understand fully about this SAP architecture and how it is done. As a functional consultant, what is your role? Okay, so once you basically do that thing, what happens then, you come to Ariba. It will be very, very helpful. Otherwise what will happen is like, if you are working in SAP Ariba as a end user, then I would have told you, okay, come to Ariba, not an issue. Why? Because you're
Sir,
just,
already I have.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, carry on.
yeah, yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead, Sunila.
Sir, yeah, actually, I have experience in end user experience. Already, I have experience. I know SD.
Okay, and
Yeah,
what about
I know
Ariba?
how. I know. I know how to generate the performa invoices. How to create the purchase order.
Okay, so you are having end user knowledge in Ariba as well, right?
Yeah, recently I completed a SD module also, same from this institute only, sir.
Okay. Now I will say to you over there. See, you know, bluntly, I'm going to say to you. See, yes, you can do it. Why? Because you are already having, understanding about about Ariba as well. But please remember one thing: without a functional consultant role or experience as a functional consultant, getting a job will be quite tough. That means like, yes, he will get a job. I'm not saying that he will not get a job, but getting that job will be a struggle. So you have to struggle for maybe 4 months or 5 months or maybe 6 months. So if you are basically quitting in between, what will happen is like, this will all go to waste. So that is why I was basically saying to you that you have already worked in right?
Yes,
So
yes.
start your career in SAP functional role as a consultant first, because getting a functional consultant role versus Ariba functional consultant role will be a huge difference. Why? Because the bar is high for Ariba. But if you go into do the work for 1.5 year to 2 years as a functional consultant, where you can show the experience, then this Ariba can help you a lot. But without functional consultant role, if you go into Ariba, then it will be a struggle. Because the thing is like, initial start of my career, I also went through a struggle a lot. So I can also understand this particular perspective. Not everybody will stay motivated for long months, like 6 7 months or 8 months, to get a job and to land up as a junior Ariba consultant. So that is why I will say, plan it. Work as a SAP consultant for 1.5 year, 2 years, learn Ariba, then you jump as a Ariba functional consultant. It would be much more easier for you to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, that is, that would be my opinion from my side. Now, you can take a decision on this part.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank
Sunila.
you, sir. Thank you. Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
welcome, Sunila. Yeah, just a moment. Are you going to help us in Ariba certification? As I said, yes, we are going to help you. But again, please remember, you have to go through our sessions. After that, you have to start studying those particular documents, prepare with the mock questions. Yeah, okay. Is commerce automation covered? Yes, that is why I have shown this particular thing in this notepad. It is, it will be covered. Yeah. Uh, yeah, Gautam, can you please unmute yourself and ask your query?
So hi Manoj, Gautam here. Thanks for the wonderful session. I think you can hear me, right?
Yeah, Gautam. Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Okay, great. So basically, I'm into a procurement since my career starting. Maybe I think I have around 6 years of experience in procurement. Worked
Yeah.
on end user basically. I worked on SAP MM, currently working on SAP Ariba for contractings and everything. So I am actually thinking to move into this functional, implementation kind of thing. But I don't have
Yeah.
any experience in, being as a functional consultant in any company. I was already in the plain business model, basically negotiating uh, ba- the basic procurement stage. So what do you
Yeah.
recommend me, like, is it easy for me to again start my career? Will it be a very basic level again, or I can expect the same you know uh, same kind of level in terms of my career growth?
Okay, so let me just give you the what you can say plain truth in this case.
Mm,
So
mm-hmm,
yes, it will be a bit of struggle. I'm not saying
mm-hmm,
without struggle will be there, but you have already worked in Ariba, right? From
yeah,
a end user perspective, you have basically worked. So yes, you can basically change your role to that of end user to that of functional consultant. Why? Because you have already worked in Ariba for a couple
mm-hmm,
of years.
yeah,
But it will be bit of struggle. There will be struggle. That's the first thing. Second thing, once you land up a job, you will become a Ariba junior consultant. You will not get a Ariba senior role over there until
okay,
unless you are having 3 to 4 years of experience in Ariba as a functional
mm,
consultant. You cannot get a senior Ariba functional consultant role. You will get a junior functional consultant role. But hey, Ariba is basically the future.
yeah, okay,
Ariba is future of procurement over there, and as you can see, it's going to grow into much bigger things. There
mm-hmm,
were a lot of guys who used to say in 2017, Ariba will not have a long life. Ariba will have a long life, and it will keep on growing. So
yeah,
my suggestion is be prepared for the struggle,
mm-hmm,
and keep that thing in your mind. When you will get a job, you will get as a junior consultant as in Ariba, but then
mm-hmm.
you have started building your career. So look at the plus point, don't look at the negative point, and prepare yourself for the struggle first.
Okay. Then I think I need to get ready to, what do you reduce my pay scale as well when I get a job in Ariba as a functional consultant.
Yes, but then again, you work as a Ariba consultant, junior Ariba consultant for 1.5 year or maybe 2 years, then you
Yeah.
switch and then you can get a 50%, 60% job, pay hike.
Okay. So yeah, that
Yeah,
that is
very
what I'm
true.
expecting.
Just want, if you want to take a very long jump, you need to step bit behind and take a long jump, right? So kind of that thing here, Gautam. Okay, and you are having a very good experience. Domain experience really counts in SAP Ariba, because if you are
Oh,
having a good negotiation skills and all those things, so you can put your experience over here nicely. So I mean, like, I'm not comparing here with Anjali. Anjali is worked as an end user, because again, you guys might be having, for some people you are saying like go ahead with, and some, for some people, go don't go. So you see, like, we are here to build up the career of everyone. Okay, this is a very important and responsible thing we think, and always Manoj is very focused on these areas. Like, this is related with the career orientation, because if you are
yeah,
choosing a career, so that's very important in our life. If you are guiding properly, definitely your career is going to be growing in a better fashion. If you see trainings and all, everything is going on. We do have a lot of trainings, not only for Ariba, we do have other trainings also going on. So we can make
mm-hmm.
money anytime, but shaping of the career of participants who are aspirants, so that really counts us. We have trained so far nearly, I think, Manoj, I think 4,000 participants has trained already in SAP, and believe
Wow.
me, still we are in touch with them. Yeah, so still they thanks to us, to guide them in a very proper way. And one more thing I want to tell you is, like, this training is not only just finish the training and we are saying tata bye bye to everyone. No, we are going to have proper connectivity with everyone, till even the people who has taken the training from us back in 2016, 17, still in touch with us. Yeah,
Yeah,
so nothing to worry. So we'll be backing up with you. Even in your job also, if you are having any issues here and there, little here and there, still you can connect us. We are going to sort out your issues also. And if you're looking, if once you switch to any onboard or any SAP Ariba project, and initially you are facing like you're unable to handle, because you need to have a lot of conversation with the client meetings, and you're how you're going to mingle in the new environment of SAP Ariba. So in that case, you even can take job support from us. Okay, we'll be exclusively providing proper job support to you. That's a separate arrangement with different commercials we do have. So that also is possible. Yeah. So nothing to worry on
Okay.
that one. So we'll be always guiding everyone. Here, you see, money is not an issue here. So only the thing is like we want to guide everyone in a very proper way, and
Yeah,
that's the
I do.
ethics Manoj always follows. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, guys. Really helped me because I want to move into this technical part, technical world. So that's the reason I asked that question. But thanks for clarification as well.
No, it's not a technical. I can want to clarify more here, Gautam. Like it's not really technical. Technical in the sense we consider technical only as like if you're doing any sort of coding or any say. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
like just
Okay,
a concept. Yeah. So whichever you're
okay,
doing here, in your domain. So the only thing is you're using Ariba as a tool to translate your business and doing the facilitating your client in a better way to achieve your business requirements. Yeah, that's going to be very
oh,
interesting if you have good hard work over here, as Manu said very rightly. Yeah. Thank you so
yes,
much.
yes.
That's what
Got
I
it.
want to
Thank
say.
you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Gautam. Just a moment. Um, just a moment, Manoj. Uh, yeah, you can go ahead, Manoj, and you can ask your query. Yeah,
Hi Manoj. Yeah,
yeah,
it was very nice. It was very nice demo. So I just want say I have worked in BPO for 8 years. So
yeah.
it's a BPO. So now I want to
Okay.
change my career. So can you guide for me because I don't have any experience in MM and no I'm completely new for this world. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so Manoj, I will basically say, please don't do it. Why?
yeah.
Because see, the thing is like, you're not only putting money when you're doing this training, and not only for you, but for everybody. When you're putting money over here, it's not just about the money; it's about the effort, it's about the hard work. These three things, and your time also over there. So these four things are very, very crucial over there. Now
Okay.
you are going to put a lot of effort over there, time, money, but if you don't get a job, what will happen is like, you will be demotivated over there. So
Yeah.
my suggestion would be very simple. First and foremost thing, go into MM. So why? Because I
Okay.
think most probably you have worked in the procurement uh, uh, domain, right, within the BPO.
No. It's different. It's a completely different. It's not about the procurement. It's a completely different. It's about
Okay.
insurance. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So if you have decided that you are going to work on procurement, then I will suggest learn MM and start as a junior consultant in MM. Work there for 1.5 year, 2 years. Then you come and learn Ariba and switch from MM consultant to that of Ariba consultant. It will be easier. You will get opportunities. But the issue is, if you want to basically change out from BPO to that of a functional consultant, so it will be very, very hard. So chances will be very, very less unless and until you are having very good luck on your side. uh, you cannot do it. But I will suggest taking such a big decision just based on the luck. uh, you know After doing your engineering, you could have done that particular thing maybe, but right now at this point of time, it would be too much risky over there. So I will suggest a step by step approach. As I said, learn MM, work as a MM Ariba, MM consultant for 1.5 year, 2 years, then learn Ariba, move into Ariba consulting as a Ariba functional consultant. There you can basically have a very stable career in this way.
If I do MM, I can get a consultant between 3 months or 4 months. If I work hard.
Yeah, yeah. There will be, yes, there will be a struggle. I'm not saying there won't be a struggle. There will be a struggle, but you will basically get it. But in that scenario, you're basically your experience, what you are having in the BPO, that is basically is not going to count. So
Yeah,
they will
yeah,
count you as a fresher over there.
yeah.
So in this way, you will get it. Then once you start working in MM functional consultant, from there, moving to Ariba is not a big deal. Once you're having good knowledge in MM, learn Ariba, then you switch as Ariba functional consultant.
Yeah. Thank you, Anuj. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, welcome. Anuj. Just a moment. Yeah, Kavita, you are having query. Please go ahead and ask your query. I've sent you unmute
Manoj,
request.
basically in my company they have given me a product admin role in Ariba project.
Yeah.
I don't know how this course will be useful for my future when I continue as product admin in my company.
Okay. So product admin, most probably, are you based out of India, Kavita?
Singapore.
Okay, yeah. So the thing is like Kavita, I think most probably what they are meaning by product admin is they are going to make you the owner of the Ariba system. I think this is from the, you're not getting this role from a service-based industry, right? You're working in the product-based industry who has who is using Ariba over there, right?
Yeah, they're moving from Apex to Ariba.
Exactly. So they are going to make you the owner of the Ariba system in that scenario. So of course, this training is going to help you. Why? Because the thing is like you are the owner of Ariba system. Yes, there will be other functional consultants who will be working uh, beside you, but you should also understand what is happening in Ariba or how it is happening. So you might not be resolving all the issue, but ultimately you will be the responsible person so that the whole Ariba works properly. So knowing about Ariba, understanding about Ariba architecture, how the things happens in Ariba, this is going to help you a lot.
Yep, and to
Okay.
add Manoj words here, Kavita. So basically, in your role, you will be required to talk to SAP Ariba team as well. So if you are having any internal issues, okay, so some of the things, functional things are not working properly. So you need to understand, like, if you're getting any queries from, it's something like an admin kind of job. You are giving them the roles and which kind of roles you are going to assign to them. So all those things you are going to handle to them. And at the same time you need to have an understanding of the functionalities. So if you any one of the functional person is functional resource is coming to you and asking like, oh, this is having some issue, so you may be responsible to talk to SAP Ariba team and coordinate with them and sort out the issues. So this is also, and one more thing I want to tell you here is like, present company you're working as an admin, so it's not mandatory like for the whole like 5 6 7 years you're going to be assigned for the same role, right? So you'll be switching to a
Yeah.
different role later on. So definitely, apart from this, this training is complete end-to-end training, which is really going to be helpful even if you are trying to switch to job, trying to switch the job to something else, right? So the recordings will always be there with you. You can always refer back, and if at all the new changes are happening, you can connect to us. You even can take some suggestions from us if you are changing your role. So we'll always be there to help you out. So in short, I can
I'm
say definitely
planning to
this.
get a transfer to India after 6, 7, 8, after 8 months. That is in July next year.
So is it like planned one, or you are,
Planned
trying to?
one. Planned
Okay,
one.
okay, okay,
I'm
okay. Like,
planning to continue in the same company and get another Ariba project within the company.
okay, 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 okay. So that company's base is in India or how?
Yeah, Infosys.
Infosys, yeah. Then it's not an issue for you. Yeah. Then it's not an issue for you.
Okay.
Infosys having a lot of projects, yeah, for sure. Like they can put you in any kind of project. So that's really going to, this training is, I think, is not helpful, but it's going to be very essential for you to, keep
Okay.
an multi-dimension, means like multiple opportunities in your hands. Yeah.
Okay.
So for sure, it's going to be very helpful. Is there any other queries, Kavita? Okay, fine. I think done.
No, Manoj.
Thank you. So is there anyone else, guys? You are having any queries? So I think Manoj, most of them have like, there is one question is coming in the chat window. Yeah, no, 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 it's fine. I think somebody has left. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, guys, for your patience, giving the time to listen to us, and really appreciate your time. And your questions has been answered very properly. And the most important thing here is like, Manoj, thank you so much and for explaining such a nicely all the concepts and giving them such a nice heads up of what exactly SAP Ariba, what are the opportunities are going to come, and patiently answering all of their questions. Really appreciate, Manoj. Yeah, thank you so much. So shall we
Yeah,
conclude the
thanks,
session
Eraj.
for the day?
Yeah, yeah, sure, Eraj. Thanks, Eraj. Thanks,
Thank,
everybody.
thank you, everyone.